Hi guys, it's Kacia. I'm gonna wait a couple minutes, or just a couple seconds here, I guess, for everyone to get on. But I am going to be talking to you guys today about how your vibe attracts your tribe. So let me give a couple of seconds. When you jump on, feel free to comment or shoot a couple of hearts or something to let me know that you are on and we are rocking. So I'll wait a second here. Yay! Yay, yay, yay. I love to see people jumping on. Awesome. Cool. Hi, Amanda. Hi, Lo. So fun. Yay. Cool. Okay, so I will get started right now. I see a couple of people are jumping on. So I am super passionate about this particular topic, which is how you post on social media and how that really attracts your tribe. I think it's really important to keep social media really simple, but also to be so authentic. So I want to make sure that I'm sharing with you a couple of tips that you guys can take away that you can implement into your business right now, today, to make this business a little bit more fun and a little bit more authentic and keep you rocking and rolling so you're really attracting people to your business that you vibe with. So before I jump into all of the details and some of the tips that I have for you guys today, I wanted to give you a tiny little bit of backstory about me if we don't know each other yet. So my name is Kacia Fitzgerald, and I was actually a corporate hustler. I was a project manager at an engineering company when I first joined a challenge group and actually started coaching. So I was the person who was working 50 plus hours a week, who really just put my health and fitness goals on the back burner because I was very concerned with climbing the corporate ladder. So some of you guys might be able to relate to that story. I actually found my coach on Instagram and I never even talked to her. I just ordered my P90X and she reached out to me on Facebook, asked me to join one of her groups. I said no. I didn't really understand what this Beachbody thing was until I watched her. So I'm very passionate about social media because I watched my coach for a while until I decided to reach back out to her and join one of her challenge groups. When I joined her challenge group, I immediately signed up as a discount coach because I thought, why not get a discount, right? So I signed up as a discount coach. And then I was added into her team page. And so I think this is really, really important because we never know what's exactly going to attract someone into this business. So it's important to talk a lot about other different topic areas of things that you're passionate about in this business because you don't know what's going to pull at someone, right? So I was added into my upline coaches page and I watched all of these coaches talk about how they were feeling so fulfilled. They were so excited because they were getting messages from other challengers that were saying, because of you, my life's different. Because of you, I feel more excited about my marriage, my clothes fit. I just feel more confident. And at the time, like I told you guys, I was a project manager at an engineering company. I was managing a team of software developers that were writing code. I was not passionate about it. Nothing wrong if that's your passion, but that was not my passion. So I thought maybe I would start this as a fun little side hobby that I could build this business on the side that would kind of help me get more fulfillment in my own life. And I was excited about it. So I was really skeptical of when I actually signed up as a discount coach that this could ever be a real opportunity for me to actually build this into a business. And I was also really concerned with what other people's perception of me building this business was going to be. I was concerned that because I didn't have a six-pack abs that people wouldn't want me as their coach, because I didn't have social media background that I wouldn't know what to do. So if you're a newer coach and you're listening to this recording or you're listening to me live right now, remember that all of us start somewhere and we learn as we go. So when I decided that I wanted to coach, which was in January of 2014, I ran my first challenge group. I decided right then and there that I was going to give myself grace to learn as I go. I wasn't going to know all of the answers, but I was going to give myself grace to learn, and I was going to be really, really authentic, knowing that my vibe, how I post on social media, is going to attract the people, the right people into my life and into my business. So I want you guys to kind of think about, a lot of times we get very concerned, and Jess did a great job in her video talking about this. Inaction breeds fear. So a lot of times we get so concerned with it being perfect that we don't even do anything. But in reality, as entrepreneurs, as a lot of us being first-time business owners, a CEO of a business that is literally yourself, that can be challenging. If you're not willing to get out there and kind of put yourself out there, it's going to be hard for you to learn as much as you possibly can. So for me, what I decided when I really decided to go all in on this business, it was about 6 months after I started when I realized the potential. I was at Summit. For those of you that haven't been to Summit, you got to get there. But I decided, okay, I'm going to be super authentic, and I'm going to, instead of talking to the masses, I'm going to hone in on what I call my niche market, my niche girl. And I'm only going to really talk to that particular person, which means instead of saying, everyone join my challenge group, everyone come join my team, I'm going to talk to those girls that I really, really vibe with. So if you guys watched day one's video, Jess's video, she talks about how a lot of people on her team are similar to her. A lot of my top coaches and coaches on our entire organization, Fit Foundation, are similar to me and have a similar background to me because like attracts like, right? So I know you guys have heard this before, but I think it's really important just to hone in on a couple of areas that you're particularly passionate about and post about those areas. So like I said, I took my target market from being anyone to this specific person, which for me is a typically 25 to 35-year-old female who is working in the corporate world, who has big ambition in the corporate world, but has this like pit in her stomach that she wants to be doing something else or something in addition to that. So I'm talking to that girl in every single post. In fact, I'm actually talking to the girl that I was that 3 months between when I signed up as a discount coach and actually started to build. I talk to that girl more than I talk about my current stage of life, which is 2 years as of yesterday out of the corporate world as a full-time coach. So I talk about topics that are interesting to me, but also that are interesting to my niche market. So my niche market, like I said, it's a girl like me. So it's really easy for me to figure out what I want to talk about because it's things that I would want to read about, I would be interested in. So I live in downtown New York City with my boyfriend, Sina. So I talk about New York City life. I talk about relationships because I'm very passionate about relationships. I'm a dog mom, not a human mom yet. So I talk about dog mom life. Of course, I talk about fitness, but I'm catering to the girl that was like how I was. The girl that had 10 to 15 pounds to lose, that wants to just feel more confident and feel more excited. I'm not necessarily talking to the person that has 100 pounds to lose. Have I gotten the opportunity to help people lose tremendous amounts of weight? Absolutely, and it's incredible. But in my post, I'm pretty much talking to the girl that was like how I was at the beginning of my journey. In addition, I'm talking about female empowerment. I'm really passionate about that. And then, of course, I'm talking about coach life. And I'm talking about what it's like to be in my shoes as a full-time coach. I talk about what I actually do as a coach because I know that people are following and like, what in the world is this girl doing? Because that's what I thought. When I watched my upline coach, I was like, what does she even do? Like, how does she actually support her family with this? Like, I was so confused from an outsider looking in. So I try and make sure that I'm using outsider jargon rather than insider jargon. So a lot of times we want to say like, give me all the yellows, and all of us would think that's really funny. But from an outsider's perspective, people that don't know what 21 Day Fix is, they're not going to know what a yellow is. So they're not understanding that you're like carbs, you know? So make sure that you're using outsider jargon rather than insider jargon, because those are the people that are going to follow you, right? Another thing that Jess hit on too that I think is so important is, as trivial as it can seem because it's social media, your job, part of your actual job, is to share your life now. And it's a huge opportunity to connect with people whose entire trajectory of their life that you can change simply by being yourself and sharing your story authentically and consistently. The consistently part is so important. So a lot of coaches are going to say how many times a day to post and things of that sort. I'm not necessarily going to tell you how many times a day I think you need to post, but I'm going to tell you that you have to post every single day, which means I want to give you some tools in your toolbox so you can be proactive for the days that you just don't feel like it. You get into a fight with your significant other, your kid like pukes on you, your dog poops on your foot, like that's my life. But whatever it is, I want to give you some tools to be proactive so that you can be prepared, because some days you are not going to want to post on social media. But does Target close its doors when their dog poops on their foot or they get into a fight with their significant other? No. And you are now a CEO of a business. A lot of you guys in this group have big goals for your business. So treat this business like a business. Any business that is doing well has a social media plan, has a plan. If they're winging it, they're going to get winging it results. If you have big goals, you've got to have a game plan, okay? So one thing that I think is really important is to utilize the notes section of your phone. So we should be doing personal development every day for a lot of different reasons. One is to fill your cup so that you can share from the overflow once your cup is full. If your cup's not full, it's really difficult to do that. But also it gives you great post content. A lot of the times the things that come to my mind that I want to post about on social media are because I learned it in a personal development book, and then I just share things that I think that I would want to know, right? So my niche market is me. So I share tidbits that were interesting to me because they're going to probably be interesting to my niche market. So I think it's really important that when you're doing personal development and when you're doing your workouts, you're just jotting down random notes. At the end of your workout, if you had something like really awesome that came to your head, jot it down in the notes section of your phone. You guys should see the notes section of my phone. It's a bunch of like random stuff that if someone like stole my phone and went through it, they'd be like, what is this girl doing? But it's random ideas that I have for post content. And when I get a chance, I will write them out into full-on posts so that I can have them stored in my phone for when I need a post and I don't feel inspirational or I'm having an off day. Remember though, when you are writing posts, if it takes you a really, really, really long time to write it, you're probably not being as authentic as you can be. And the more authentic that you are in this business, the more people are going to connect with you because there is a lot of sunshine and selfies about Beachbody. We want you to be real and authentic and share your honest opinion and your honest thoughts of how you go through your life. So it's really important to stay authentic. And if you find that it's taking you a really long time to write a post, I would encourage you to set a timer. Don't take too long to write a post. Perfection is completely overrated. And in fact, I think it hurts you a little bit in this business if you try and be too perfect because perfect is not relatable. People they don't just want to see your highlight reel. They want to see all of the ups and downs along the way, right? So when you're speaking publicly on social media, the best way to not overcomplicate it is to keep it simple and speak in the same jargon that you would if you were talking to your best girlfriend. So for me, the way that I talk to you guys on video is the same way that I'm going to talk to my best friends, which is the same way that I'm also going to talk in my messages. I actually use voice messages when I'm doing invites with people because I like them to see my vocal variety. But I talk the same way publicly on my Facebook wall, including the jargon. So I'll say weird things like top knot or OMG or whatever. I talk the same way that I talk. And that messaging is consistent. So it's what people would expect. When they meet me in real life, I'm what they would expect to be. So the way to not overcomplicate posting is to honestly just be yourself. Use the same type of jargon that you would use if you were talking to your friends because your voice, that authentic voice, is what shows people that you're different from the rest of the 400 and something thousand coaches in the network. You're the only you that there is. That sounds super Dr. Seussy, but for real, you are. So stay true to yourself and your story and your jargon and the way that you talk because people connect to that. So for my list goers, like I said, it's really important to come up with those 5 to 7 topics. You've heard this. If you've watched, when I first started, I watched all of Lindsay's training videos. And she talked a lot about like the products that you enjoy to be, a resource to people and share things that you find value in. Okay. So find those 5 to 7 areas, jot them down. All I do, you guys, is I rotate through those areas. So dog, fitness, coach life, New York City, relationship. If you were to go to my timeline right now and scroll through it, you would see that I pretty much just rotate through those areas. So it keeps it super, super simple. One other tip is when I was working 50 plus hours a week at Google and I had very big goals with this business, my boyfriend and I would actually sit down on Sunday night and I would map out our week. Okay, what activities do I have after work? What do you have? He's a full-time student at NYU Dental. So what dental things do we need to do for you? What does our schedule look like? And I would map out proactively. Monday morning, I'm going to talk about female empowerment. Monday night, I'm going to talk about my workout. Tuesday morning, I'm going to talk about this. I had to do that because I just didn't have the bandwidth to do it on the fly, right? And I didn't work on my business at all when I was at work. I didn't have the opportunity to do so. So I had to be very strategic about that. Now that I've been full-time for a little over 2 years now, I don't do that anymore, but I am proactive when I'm traveling. I jot down ideas of like things that I want to post about. So use that as a resource, because when you have those posts in your phone, you make that game plan, and then maybe you proactively write out a couple of posts, because a lot of times you're going to spend too much time doing that, especially as a new coach. I know I did, because I wanted it to sound perfect. But in all honesty, the way that you're going to build this business is going to be from building relationships. The more time that you can spend talking to people, even if you word vomit on them a little bit, even if you kind of stutter through it, even if you're kind of failing forward, that's better than not talking to people at all and thinking that you have to be perfect before you talk to people, okay? So another thing for my list people that I want to share with you guys that's been really, really helpful for some of my coaches that have been kind of trying to redefine their social media and make sure that they're staying really authentic is number one. So I'm going to tell you 5 areas. Number one, have a business story. Why did you become a coach? That's not going to change. Why you are currently a coach will evolve over time as you start to see more blessings from this business, more friendships from this business, more income and opportunities, more health benefits, transformations, right? Life transformations, body transformations. Your why will evolve, and it will continually evolve, and you'll have more goals that totally look different than what you ever would have imagined. But why you started, you've got to go back to why you started. I did not start this business with the idea that I could have this be a full-time job that surpassed my corporate income by a whole lot. I didn't understand that that was even a real opportunity for me. I went into this business because I was lacking fulfillment. So if I was lacking fulfillment and I wanted to help other girls like me, I need to make sure that publicly I'm talking about that, because that's often going to be what attracts my niche girl, because they're like me, right? They're like the person that I was before I started coaching. They're the person that's skeptical about if this is a real business for them. They're the person that's concerned that they're not going to know what they're doing. They're the person that's concerned that they don't look like the cover of Shape magazine, and they don't have social media background, and they pride themselves on being a corporate ladder climber, and they don't want to look stupid. So I'm going to talk to that girl as often as I can. I'm not going to talk as much to the person that wants lifestyle by design. Of course, I'm going to share that, like the blessings that come from this business. But those posts are more for the coaches that are current coaches on my team to see what's possible, or the people that are currently challengers, for them to get that seed planted of what could be possible. But I want to talk about the fulfillment that comes from this job. So your business story, why you became a coach. And then of course, putting in why you are a coach as that starts to evolve over time. Your fitness story. My fitness story comes from wanting to lose 15 pounds and crying in my closet because I didn't feel like I looked good in my clothes. If your story is you wanted to lose your weight after baby number two, like women that want to lose their baby weight after baby number 2 are going to connect with that first story, right? If now you have a 6-pack abs, they want to hear about that beginning stage, because that's what's going to attract them to you too, right? So your fitness story, you're going to tell it in different ways, but you're really going to have one basic fitness story kind of how you evolve. In addition, like I said before, that time between when I was a discount coach and when I became a business building coach, I talk about that 3-month period more than I talk about the evolution of my business, because my niche market, my niche girl, is going to connect with those first 3 months. So what are the fears that I had? What are the objections that I had? Why did I think this business was sketchy? Why did I think that I couldn't do this business? Why was I afraid that people wouldn't want me as their coach because I didn't have a 6-pack? Like those types of things, I talk about those things consistently in my posts, often, over and over and over again, rinse and repeat. It doesn't sound glamorous, but those are the posts that get me the girls that connect with me authentically, because I'm sharing my story in such a real way. Also, when you get objections from people, use those as post material. If you're getting tons of objections about cost, how did you validate the cost? If you're getting tons of objections about time, I want to see Legos all over the floor and like your kid like throwing like a donut at your face and you're just in total chaos, but you're making time. If that's your reality, people want to see your reality. That's so important. So yes, you'll hear coaches talk about like you are your own reality show. Your timeline is your storefront. You're you. So show the realness, but also show the things that aren't as glamorous about Beachbody. People want to know that it takes work because that lowers their skepticism. I was skeptical because I was like, does my upline coach, who I love and is a dear friend of mine now, what does she actually do? Like, how does she actually support her family? But then I would see that she would post about working the business. So I post about working the business. I want people to come in that know it's going to take a lot of work, but oh, is it going to be worth it? Hell yeah. In addition, like I said, speaking to your niche market. That's number 4. So number 1, business story. Number 2, fitness story. Number 3, Shakeology story. I actually started drinking Shakeology because it was convenient, because I was running around like a chicken with my head cut off all the time. And I was like, if this shake tastes kind of good, I'm going to drink this for the rest of my life. That was literally how I went into it. I had this obsession that I didn't want to drink anything with aspartame. So I looked, it didn't have aspartame. I was like, done. Okay, I'm drinking this for the rest of my life. I'm going to be a discount coach if it tastes kind of good. And then I tried it. I was like, oh. That's my story. So I'll tell you guys, I don't get a ton of people that ask me about ingredients in Shakeology because my Shakeology story is convenience. I'm sharing how convenient it is and how good it makes me feel. My niche market wants something that's convenient and it makes them feel good. And it's simple, right? Simple nutrition. That's what my target market cares about. So business story, fitness story, Shakeology story. The other component, objections, like I just talked about, the fears that you had when you first started coaching or before you started a challenge group, and remembering that you need to share what you're actually doing as a coach, making sure that you're using that outsider jargon to explain things. So if you want to say country heat, great. Country heat, in parentheses, a dance program where you feel like you are at a country concert shaking your butt really hard in your boots, but you actually wear sneakers. Whatever, however you want to describe it, outsider language for insider terms, because you're educating through your post so that they can understand what that looks like, right? So make sure that you're sharing what you actually do. Don't be afraid to share the down times. Of course, find the silver lining, make it positive. We don't want to be Debbie Downers writing our sob stories on Facebook. No one wants to read that. No one wants to follow someone that's doing that. But we do want to be really authentic and share that sometimes this business is tough. Sometimes you doubt yourself. Sometimes even if people look at you and see that you've had tons of success in this business, you still doubt yourself. I guarantee you Lindsay would say that she still doubts herself in this business from time to time, despite all of her massive success. So make sure that you're touching on those points too. It's important for people to know that you're a real human, and that it's important for them to understand that going into this, there are going to be tough times. If you paint this picture perfect image that it's sunshine, rainbows, and lollipops every single day that you're coaching, people are going to be more skeptical. You're honestly adding fuel to the fire. I want to hear about the days that you press play and then you quit, and then you press play again and then you quit, and then you press play again and then you quit, and then you finally did it. I want to hear about the 4th time, right? I want to hear about the times when you missed a goal and you saddled back up and you got back on, and what did you learn from that? Those are the things that people are going to connect with you about, and they're going to feel like you're a real human who's building this business, and they're going to say, hey, this girl fails sometimes. This girl doubts herself sometimes. This girl doesn't have a 6-pack. I still don't have a 6-pack, and I've done just fine in this business so far. So don't use that as your excuse. This girl has insecurities, but she does this, so I can do it too. That's what you want to show people. So those are the main tips that I have for you guys tonight. I hope that's helpful. Thank you guys for being on here live. And for those of you that are watching the recording, just skip like the first 30 seconds. And I love you guys. I'm so grateful for this business and to be part of this surge. So many amazing people in here. And I will talk to you guys soon. Have a wonderful night. Mwah. Bye, guys.